It's no secret I come from a very wealthy family. By the age of 19, father was a CEO of his own company, and mother was prominent in the field of publishing. The expectations of who I was to become and whom I was to spend my time with was set at a very early age. There are standards in this world I live in, you know? And don't be mistaken, it is a totally different world. If I was ever caught with inappropriate company, as my father would call it, there would be severe consequences. After numerous unacceptable suitors, I finally met the love of my life, Eric. Of course, Eric came from good breeding. He has loads of cash and several assets. He is a renowned attorney, as everyone in his family, and of course, for that my parents welcomed Eric as one of their own. I, however, adore him because he's smart, makes me laugh. He always opens the car door for me, and he's devilishly good looking. We soon got married and bought a beautiful house next to the ocean. We wasted no time in trying to start a family, but we failed. Over and over again, we failed. I didn't know what to do. I was so frustrated, and my 10,000 nosy relatives constantly asking me when we would start our family did not help. Finally, our frustration took the best of us, and we sought out help from the best doctors money could buy. After a few painful years of trying to conceive, all our efforts finally paid off when the doctor announced that we were expecting a beautiful baby boy. I can't believe it. All the pain I ever felt was overwhelmingly replaced with pure joy and excitement. I will never forget the day Dax was born. It was a chilly November afternoon, and we were on our way to the hospital. Dax came to brighten our lives. It was the happiest day of my life. Until I saw his face. Dax was 10 pounds. His dark eyes were too spread apart from each other, and his ears were abnormally large. He just looked wrong and vile. I'm telling you, there are no words to describe how revolting he looked. And I'm just supposed to take him home and raise him as my son? A year passed, and I wish I could say things have gotten better. Eric works all the time, and as he puts it, someone has to provide for this family. I know he has to work, but I overheard him once on a phone call telling the other person that he's been working overtime so he doesn't have to spend time with Dax. How is that fair? Dax is his son too. Anyway, so I spend most of my time tending to the house and raising Dax. Oh, Dax. He cries all the time. He barely eats or sleeps, and when he does, he projectile vomits all over me. And he never smiles at us, no matter how hard we try. We haven't gotten a good night's sleep since we brought him home from the hospital. It seems we can't do anything right. To say we are at our wits' end is an understatement. One afternoon, on one of our daily strolls to the Lion Mouth's cliff, we came across this elderly woman who lives across the street from us, walking alone on the trail. "Goodness, dear, you look dreadful," the old lady said, with a worried look on her face. "Yes, the joys of motherhood, Mrs. Olson," I responded sarcastically. "Yes, I know the feeling well, having raised 3 children myself," she replied with pride. "It'll get easier, you'll see. They'll grow, and soon you'll forget all about the sleepless nights." "I sure hope so," I replied with a sigh. "Of course it will. May I see your little bundle of..." she said, pulling the visor back from the stroller. Her expression changed immediately. As her smile quickly dissolved, I could tell she tried her hardest to hold back her face of disgust. "Well, he sure is an interesting-looking little fellow, isn't he?" she said, trying to be polite. "Don't worry about his ears, dear. My Jason had quite large ears as a child as well, and he grew right into them." "Well, I best be going, dear. Have a nice day, and best of luck." she said as she began to walk in the opposite direction. What an old crow, I thought to myself. But who could blame her? Dax isn't the nicest thing to look at. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out where he gets it. Certainly not from me, or Eric for that matter. He must get his looks from Eric's mother's side. Whatever. Right now, all I care about is that he remains asleep. I swear, it was like he heard my thoughts, because immediately after, he began to cry. Oh, great. Come on, Dax, please stop crying, please, I say as I continue to push the stroller to the vista point on the edge of the trail. Come on, Dax, look at the pretty sunset. Shh. Come on, Daxie, I say as I continue my fruitless attempt to soothe this child. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Dax, just stop. You're doing this on purpose. I know you are. There's no way you can just cry like this all the time, and everywhere I take you, you scare everyone. No one can stand to look at you. Your father can't stand you. I can't stand you. For a moment, I stopped screaming, and the severity of my words filled me with confusion and anger. Dax, I'm sorry, but I'm not your mother anymore. I was never supposed to be your mother. I whisper into Dax's ear as I move closer to the edge of the cliff. I'm not cut out for this, Dax. Things are better this way, I say as I release Dax from my arms. Into the ocean's grand abyss, I watch as his tiny limbs flail in the wind until his body plunges into the crashing waves, and within seconds, he is out of sight. I'm pregnant again. I thought for sure my husband would have left me after the accident 1 year ago. But here we are, pregnant and about to give birth to a baby girl. This time will be different. I just know it will. My Sarah is the most beautiful baby. She's got a little button nose, perfectly proportioned ears, Eric's gorgeous deep blue eyes, and my perfect lips. Eric and I are elated with our flawless daughter. Only 2 months after she was born, she already sleeps through the night. She eats without any fuss, and to our surprise, she hardly ever cries. Whew, what a difference. Sarah and I were getting ready to go on our adventure walk of the week. We love to walk along the trails next to our house and point out the different birds and animals we see along the way. Sarah loves animals and would often try imitating their sounds and behaviors. It's the most darling thing. Sarah, don't forget your jacket. It's a bit chilly outside, I yell from the bottom of the stairs. Coming, Mummy, she gleefully yells back. After about 10 minutes into our walk, I have the best idea. Sarah, would you like to go see the most beautiful cliff covered by the prettiest little flowers, I ask? Oh, yes, please, Mummy, she replies, barely able to hold in her excitement. As we approach the small curvy trail leading to Lionmouth's Cliff, I can see Sarah's body language begin to change. She went from being happy and excited to visibly worried and trembling. Not to worry, dear, I tell her, stroking her long brown hair. The cliff is beautiful, and it'll be worth the walk. A few minutes later, we approach the cliff, and all of a sudden, Sarah begins to scream. No, Mommy, please! I love you, Mommy! I love you more than anything in the entire world, and I promise I'll be good. I promise to pick up all of my toys as soon as you ask me to. Confused and startled, I ask her, what do you mean? "What's wrong, sweetie?" With a whimper, she replies, "No, Mummy. No, Mummy, please, please. I swear I'll be good. I love you, Mummy. I really, really love you. Please, Mummy." Once again, I ask her, "What do you mean, darling? There's nothing to be scared of. Why are you scared, sweetie?" With her blue eyes filled with tears, she looks up at me. "I'm scared, Mommy. I'm scared you'll drop me off the cliff again."